it's a wonderful thing for the whole team. It's something that I'll have forever, and my family is just absolutely so excited. And we have probably about 25, 26 women coming that have played from 1970 on up, even in the late 60s. And so when I'm so excited for the young girls to see these women and what they've done with their lives.
So I'd like to welcome you to the second annual Washington Interscholastic Activities Association Hall of Fame Banquet.
I don't stress winning. I don't stress winning championships. I never talk about, or very seldom talk about, we have to win this game or we have to win this championship or we're going to state or we're in the league. I really focus on fundamentals, and I really stress whatever sport I'm coaching, and I coach 3 sports, I stress the fundamentals and doing those things right, and I use winning as a byproduct. My style, it would just be something about a coach who stressed fundamentals, who coached fundamentals, and keep it fun.
To be honest with you, I never enjoyed watching him play. The happiest moment for me was when he walked off the field in one piece. I was terrified the whole time. But to see him, it was the first kickoff of the Great Go Round in Tacoma, and that was his first time in high school. He caught that kick and he scored. He ran it all the way back. And that was his first time touching a football other than practice in high school.
Starting in the guard, number 11.
Well, I think the biggest thing is I'd like to have them strive to be the best that they can be. Not necessarily compete with everybody else, but to compete with themselves, to be their own best self. I think if kids work hard to be as good as they can be, it generally works out pretty well.
To stand here before you and accept this award for Pat Hatmaker. And I would also like to thank the WIAA.
You said you did not go through Issaquah High School without having your life touched by Pat Hatmaker. She was constant positive motivation. She taught goal setting. You didn't leave her program without knowing about John Wooden and his Pyramid of Success. And really, after she passed away and after we all graduated from the program, we realized that, yeah, she taught us a little bit about the sport, but more so she taught us about life.
It's been a wonderful experience over the 55 years of working with activities, but this just kind of tops it off. I really think the conditioning, not only physical, but mental, emotional, carries over for those kids way into their adult lives. I have observed over 55 years of working with youngsters, most of the young people that are involved in activities, boys or girls, don't get into a lot of trouble.
We were walking out to the Interlake courts, and all the girls were walking with me, and we kind of looked up, and it was beautiful, sunny, the light was dappled. And we just kind of looked at each other, and we knew we were so happy just to be there. To be outside, to be going to play a match, and that's going to stick with me for a long time.
Sports is one of the last venues where goals are clear, where winning and losing is clearly understood, where you've got to learn how to play by the rules. And I think that's the value of athletics.
I think Dad taught great leadership, great sportsmanship, and over 400, he actually taught and coached probably over 400 students in his career, his 40-year career. And about 400 or more went into coaching and teaching careers as a result.
We're a team, we're like a big family. You travel with these kids and they learn so many different aspects that they're going to use later on in life, and I think that that is, you know, just a tremendous asset for them.
He just wouldn't give up. He stayed with it. With so many things that kids have to distract them today, if they really want to play sports, it's there for the taking. All they got to do is work for it. Nobody's going to give it to them. There's nothing you get out of life unless you work for it.
It's not just athletics, it's also activities. And that we did some good things for kids, and it reinforces that they're being honored. And really it's all of them, is that they gave them a foundation to be successful in life. And shoot, I think around 3,000 kids went through my program during the time I was at Auburn, if you can imagine, speech and debate. And boy, the very, very few of them are not successful in life. And I think that's one of the biggest things I see.
Phil is a leader, and he was allowed to lead in high school. He was captain, and he was a great leader. He was a role model for the other kids, and he learned that in school. If you're a student athlete, you know, you have to have your priorities, but the parents really have to help set them, because if not, something will get left behind.
Interscholastic activities, all work it. Our next recipient, athletic administrator Dick Gravenhorst.
I was the WIAA representative at the State B basketball tournament, and I don't recall what year it is, but a little school up in northeastern Washington, they had a little guard with the name of Go for Someday. And as they were playing in the state championship game, and as the game wound down, this little Indian boy got down to the last few seconds, and he was way out on the wing, and that was way before we had the three-point shot. He wound up with the ball, and the seconds were ticking away, and they were down 1 point, and he let fly from way outside, and down it went.
After winning 17 straight football games, we got beat, and I told the kids that I think losing maybe is a positive thing because it teaches us something.
One game in particular between the University of Washington and WSU that Dad attended, and it was very special for him because when the two captains came out on the field, Dad got teary-eyed because both of those team captains from each school were he had coached.
You have hundreds of basketball officials.
Yeah, I remember one particular game. It was an eight-man game. And one team was much better than the other team. One team was undefeated. In fact, the other team hadn't won a game. And the team that hadn't won a game had a pretty good kid on their team. He was the quarterback, the middle linebacker, the punter, the punt returner, everything. And when we did the flip, I had a real fancy coin that I flipped. I think it might have been the 100th anniversary of the NCAA or something like that. He says, "Man, that's a nice coin." He says, "Can I have that?" I said, "No, that's the only one I've got. I'm sorry." And then we lined up for the kickoff. I got to thinking, yeah, that kid really does want that coin. So I told him, I said, "You run this kickoff all the way back and I'll give you the coin." Of course, he only got about
10 or 15 yards, so the coin was safe. But in the process of the game, he ran back a lot of kickoffs. And each time he would look at me and say, "The deal's still on?" I'd say, "Yep, deal's still on." But he never did get one back.